Hello Stampin' Friends, this is Trina with a little video today using some scrap pieces of paper and doing a challenge that Stampin' Up! Issues to demonstrators and whoever for every month. And this month, for once, I thought I'd try and participate. We were to try and duplicate this template. As you can see, this template has your card base going this way with your scraps of paper going vertically. The artist who decided that she would go ahead and attempt this template just changed the strips to go horizontally instead of vertically. So anyways, I'm going to try and do the same thing. We're going to start out with our papers like this. Let me move these out of the way. I'll leave this one here for right now. So to make things easier for me, I went ahead and I cut my strips. These strips are cut at, well, first of all, I guess we need to get this piece out. We're going to start with our card base, regular 8.5 by 4 1/4, scored in the middle. You know how that goes. And then we've got a piece of Whisper White's cardstock that's at 5 by 3.5. And that's going to be our base for our little scraps. And then, of course, our scraps are cut at 4 3/4 by 3/4. So let me show you how I did this. First of all, I took our scraps and decided how I was going to line them up. And I think I'm going this way. I'm going to start with the pink here. Found it easier to do this on a foam pad like this. It worked out better. Then I'm going to do the purple next. Just kind of line it up here, get it as close as I can. Then let's do another one. Lining it up pretty close. And then finally, let's put the green right on top here. Okay, since I'm going to stamp on that image, I found it best to go ahead and take some washi tape. And we're just going to hook it down. I'm going to take and put it over to the side here a little bit. And then make sure these are all still pretty lined up pretty good. Take another piece of washi tape. And I'm going to put that down there. Okay, I am going to be using today the Crazy About You stamp set, along with the, I believe it was called Hello You, are the dies that went with it. These have you, thanks, happy, and hello on them. And then, of course, I'm going to my favorite, the hand pen petals, and also using some of the retired designer series paper from hand pen petals. So I'm going to be using this image today from the hand pen petals. And of course, just a little bit of Memento Black ink. Let's go ahead and ink this up real quick. Okay, looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to situate it however I'd like it on these scraps of paper right here. That looks good. Give it a good press. Leave it sit on there for just a second. Make sure I get a good image. Pull it off, and there we have it. Okay, now we're going to take this and we're going to put it on our piece of cardstock there that we had cut at 5 by 3.5. So let me move this out of the way. Here's our cardstock. Move these over. And I am going to use our Tombow glue, the liquid glue, because I find this works better for me so that I have a little bit of wiggle room whenever I'm putting these strips down. So I'm going to start at the top, just put a little bit of glue on here. And you know me and glue, if I can end up getting glue on me, I will. Let me get my tweezers here. And I am just going to place this fairly close to the top. There's nothing magical about the dimensions. I'm just eyeballing it. For those of you who love to get out the ruler and think everything needs to be a 1/16 of an inch perfect, I applaud you, but sometimes you just need to slap it on. So that's kind of what we're going to do today. Now I'm going to take the bottom one, this pink, and I'm going to put it near the bottom. It seems to always work out better if you do the top and the bottom, then you'll be able to easily place the other two pieces in the center without running out of room. And once again, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, pull it down here just a little bit. That's what I love about the glue, liquid glue. You've got some wiggle room. And now let's put this one on. Now we're just going to try and line up the image a little bit. Yes, that is a shot glass there. Works great for doing things like this. Also works great for what you can do with it afterwards. All right, so I'm just barely going to put this down right now. I've got it lined up fairly well, but I just want to barely touch it down so that I can make sure that if I do need to wiggle it a little, I sure can. And here we go. And now I'm just kind of lining up our images a little bit. That looks pretty good. Let's put that one there. Maybe pull it down just a tiny bit. And then this image looks pretty good too. Okay. I think all in all that looks good. I'm just going to press it down. And there we go. Now the next thing we want to do is go ahead and run it through an embossing folder. The embossing folder that I chose is this Country Floral. I think you can kind of see the image pretty well on here. I put a black piece of cardstock underneath it so that you can see it. And due to the miracle of video, I already have one that has been run through the Big Shot and our embossing folder. So we're going to take this piece right here, and then we're going to have some fun with this. We are going to take the Happy, and I have run this through, whoops, Happy. And I have run through this one through silver foil, but I think I've run it through again. I think I'd like to do it through gold. I really liked how that looks. So I've run several of these already through. We'd put the gold right there like this. And the other thing we need to do is to take maybe, this is 3/8 of a piece of basic white cardstock, and I have just stamped it in gold and I embossed it. I forgot to use my embossing buddy, so who knows if I'll keep this one or not. You never know. It kind of bugs me sometimes to not have it perfect. And I'm simply going to trim off the edges here to make it a little bit closer. And then once again, I would use my glue, maybe put that about right there. Same with the Happy, put it about right there. And once again, due to the miracle of video, I have one already prepared. And this time I put the Happy Birthday up here. You noticed on this one, everything got moved down a little bit. I do tend to think that I like this Happy placed here, but I think I'll move the birthday down a little bit farther on the next one. So all we have to do now is simply go ahead and place this on our piece of cardstock. And once again, I'll be using the liquid glue because I find out that that works best when I'm putting something on that is embossed. That way the glue gets in all these nice little crevices and such. And it makes it perfect for this. So we're going to lay this down right on here. Give it a nice little push. And there we have it. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. And here are our two cards today using that very simple template where we have the Happy Birthday in the silver. I do like the gold, I think, a little better with my colors. And I hope you've enjoyed this little video showing how to use some scraps, adding a little bit of an embossing folder to give it a little oomph, using some of your foil paper. And since I did not have the die that was used on our sample here, she used something that said amazing, and I do not have that. So I went through my stash and found Happy. And I always need birthday cards, and then I added the birthday. So I kept a little bit with our template. I have the little layer in the middle. I have instead 4 strips of designer series paper, and instead of the 2 or 3 little journaling strips like that, I have kind of followed her sample here where I have the big foil piece, and then instead of the 2 little ones, I have birthday instead. So those are our cards for today. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, please like it, and I will see you all later for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.